I was out on the pier earlier, and I was looking over the ripples in the water and the peacefulness of it. And I closed my eyes for a minute. I'm hearing birds and I'm hearing roosters, and it was just God's voice. There's how many times do we take time out to be still and to know that He's God? And it doesn't take long just for you hear things that you wouldn't hear before. And I just let God speak to me, and I'm looking over this beautiful pond, and I'm seeing the ripples on the water and hearing the beautiful sounds, and then I got a vision of, just big fish in the center of the lake, and I have a pole, and I want to cast and reach the center of the lake, and my pole snags. How many of you guys ever been in a situation where you've got fish and you see them top in the water and you can get to them, but the pole that you have won't reach them because there's a snag? And so instantly I go to resignation, I go to anger, frustration. This always happens. I'll never catch the big fish. I'm not a fisherman. I give up, and so, but I tried again, and same result. And I felt like God was just saying that that's where He really wants us to go. He wants us to go into deeper waters because that's where the treasure is. But if we've not taken care of the equipment, how many people, well, I'll speak for myself. A lot of times I'll want to do something noble. I want to do something like that, but I may not take care of the equipment. I might let the rod and reel sit outside and it rusts, and then knots come into, and I wonder why it's not performing the way it should. I just have neglected it. And so, but how do we get that rod and reel to perform in the way it was designed? And I felt like God was saying, I can do it. But it's going to take time, and it's going to take effort, and it's going to take patience. And I don't know about you, but patience while you're seeing big fish top of the water, patience is not part of the equation. You don't want to have patience. You want to get there now because you feel like you're going to miss the opportunity. And so but God says, take time. I'll bring the fish. It's there. It's still there. Just take time out so that I can excavate. I can take all of the tangleness. When we have all of this stuff in our hearts, we have unforgiveness, we have bitterness, anger. If we release that, if we surrender that over to Him fully, He can take it all out and restore it to where it can be back to the way it was designed. Our hearts have taken on so much, and we've got all these tangled webs inside of our hearts, and there's rust, and there's unforgiveness, and there's doubt, and there's fear, and there's abandonment, and all these things. But if we just let Him go into the deep places into our hearts and take the time out and allow it, He can restore all of that. And when He does, and not until He does, when He does, He can take us into the deeper waters where the treasure is. And that is His desire. He created us to go into the deeper waters. But what has happened is we have neglected our equipment. We have neglected our hearts. And we've allowed the tangled, all of the things inside of our hearts to inhibit us from being able to go into those deeper waters.
Having left my equipment in the closet during the off season, during the cold months when I wasn't doing any fishing, the first time you go back out to the lake, you go to the river, wherever you're going, the line has taken the set of the spool, and is no longer as supple as it's supposed to be. And it tends to, when you cast it, lay in ringlets, in twists across the water. And it inhibits your casting distance. If you have all that slack, all that twisting and curling in the line, when a fish strikes it, there's no way you can set the hook because you're going to be pulling slack out before you ever get to the fish. So that's the way we are. If we lay out for a season, if we take time off, as it were, with our hearts and what the Lord is doing in our own restoration and going deeper with us, then the next time we find ourselves needing to be used by Christ in somebody else's life, we're less than effective. Maybe we can do some good. We can get a hook out there for them, but there may be so much slack in the line that it's not effective fishing. So it's always important, number one, to keep the equipment, as you've said, Michael, in good shape. But even the use that we've undergone in the past, even the way we have been used by God in the past for His glory, we've got to continue to grow. We've got to continue to allow Him to untangle, maintain, stretch, make us usable for the next time. We can never be satisfied with a certain plateau, a certain level of usefulness to God. There's always a greater mission. There's always deeper water.
Yeah. We continue to talk about the equipment, and I just got this, upgrading the equipment. When we learn to fish, we're usually kids when we learn to fish, right? And we're fishing with a Scooby-Doo fishing pole that ain't going to catch much and ain't going to catch anything big. And it's definitely not going to go out in deeper water. But we have to start there. And then as we continue to seek God and want that depth and want to go in that depth, that we have to upgrade our equipment. We have to, and we do that by spending time with the Lord. That we upgrade, that we go from the Scooby-Doo to the Bass Pro, the stuff that you get from the Bass Pro shop. You go from a 5-pound test line to a 20-pound test line, and so forth and so on. And that just kind of got downloaded to me that, it's about maintaining our equipment, but also upgrading our equipment as well.
Okay. So I guess one of the other things that, as I listen to you guys all talk, I think also about if we want to go the deeper water, we have to be willing to fail. And for a lot of us, for men, and I know for me, a lot of time it's the fear of failing. It's that fear that stops me from trying.
Yeah.
So again, if we've ever been fishing, especially as we move from, a simple Shakespeare rod or Zebco to get into a spin cast, a bait cast, it's like we know that when we try to make that deeper cast, we know that a deep cast that we make, we really got to put some force behind it, but we know that if we mess up, it's going to really be tangled and it's going to be nasty, it's going to be ugly. So a lot of times we'll take and we'll go and we'll do it the very safe way. We'll measure it and we'll measure it. And we never, as you're talking about, realize the full depth, the full beauty of really what the Lord has for us.
Yeah.
Because we don't risk it. And that's what I feel like sometimes it's like the fear. And as, I see what the Lord's been doing in my life in the last couple of years, it's not to be afraid of failing anymore. I mean, it's when I fail that I learn and I open up. And then if I think about hunting or I think about fishing, I think about my career, I think about family, it's actually in the failing that I've learned so many things. It's where I find where my limits, where my boundaries are at. And every time that I think I can't go further than that, God shows me that I can't, but with Him I can. So that's what I love what you're talking about, Michael, about the deeper water, which is try it. And that's how we learn. You know, I've been fishing with some good bass fishermen before, and I will try to get in there and catch something, and they'll cast and look just like what I did, but they're like 1 foot further. You know, they've got the precision, but when you talk to them, they've broken many lines, they've tangled many reels because they've been willing to fail where we haven't. So I think if we'll just go there and quit worrying about what anybody else thinks about us, and quit acting like that's death, because it's not. It's learning. It's learning through the suffering. It's learning through the difficulties. Then out of that will grow the joy and the freedom, you know, to really grow and to realize everything the Lord has for us. I mean, catch the bigger fish, you know, to fill our boat with all of the treasures that He wants us to be filling with the bounty. Otherwise, we're going to stand close to the shore and we're going to catch the bait fish, if you will.
That's right.
So.